Test 1, 2. For some reason, YouTube always takes a little bit longer. And here we are. I am David from Fertile Pixel. It has been a day. But the day isn't over yet, so let me just get my chat working properly. For some reason, Restream just never loads the chat properly unless you close and reopen. Definitely 90% of fixing things is turning them off and on again. But we're not here to fix things, we're here to build things. I should move my scene into there sometime. I'll do that sometime. What was I working on last time? I haven't actually kept usually I have like a checklist going somewhere that in which I'm tracking what's going on, but this one's been a bit more fast and loose. Not always for the better necessarily, but this is a robot game. The robots follow commands, and since last stream you can set those commands. The UI is kind of a bit ugly as hell, but that's okay. We'll get there. I just got selections working. Should really get this thing up and running. Bit of version control here. And I've actually got a whole bunch of changes right here. So I updated the robot sprite last time, but since then I have done some more stuff with my sprites, which is adding the X and the selection thingy. I shouldn't have heard that background noise. One second, I'll send a quick query. Oh yeah, I did press play. There we go. I should let this run while, there we go, there's a better aspect ratio. So there's at least something to look at while I just check that everything is fine. It may well have just been a door being closed a little bit too hard. Which of course is unacceptable. Doors are not meant for closing slightly too hard. Yeah, anyway, so factory prefab. Yep, selection. Got the robot prefab updated. And a bunch of things. Factory, all sorts of stuff. Gosh, I probably should have done. Oh, okay. I also imported TextMesh Pro, and I think I should have done. Oh, wait, let's do TextMesh Pro first. It's a little annoying that TextMesh Pro gets dumped directly in there, but oh well. So what I'll do is actually, it should be okay. I'll just select the things that aren't TextMesh Pro. At least keep them separate. And go from there. There we go. I think everything else is TextMesh Pro. Yep. So I get selection. I get what is that? Routine, editing, selection working. There we go. Now I believe I have a few to-dos. Now I think that's everything selected for TextMesh Pro. I may have my own copy of TextMesh Pro that I can import as a package, because I just do local packages. You essentially just need to make a package.json file that describes it, and pretty much just put your files in there, and then you can import that locally by adding just in asset store package manager here, and if I put it on the correct monitor, you can do plus add package from disk, and then just go find that package.json file in the directory for your local package. Useful way to make reusable packages. And I've got some in here that are just local, which are all these per-pixel ones. So I've got some tools, splash screens, some fonts that I can use without having to just like copy paste things anywhere. And player prefs editor, which I just repackaged because the way it was packaged, I think it was doing what TextMesh Pro does, just dumping it in here. And I didn't want it to, so I've got my own sort of special copy of it. Nothing else changed about it except the fact that it's able to be used as a local package without putting it in my directory. And then these packages are automatically ignored since I can just reinstall them. So that is potentially a downside. If these local packages are not also backed up somewhere, then you might not be able to run your project if you lose them. Something to be aware of. Okay. Anyway, enough talk. I believe the problem that I had was there's nothing stopping you from changing the routines of robots when they're in progress, while they're going about their routine. And the whole premise of the game is that you've got to program them before they leave the factory, and then once they leave, they're on whatever routine they've got, and that's locked in, and that's sort of the challenge, trying to get them to navigate and function on the battlefield despite not being able to actually tell them what to do moment to moment. Why is it doing all that? I haven't actually changed the code at all. Like 0 code changes since I last ran it. So I don't know what you're busy with, but while it's doing that, I thought to myself, I'll get Visual Studio open. But I find if I don't open Visual Studio from Unity, then it tends to have trouble. Like the next time I open a script from Unity, it'll open a new copy of Visual Studio, which is no good. This is taking as long as like a build, like a build for a release. Anyway, why don't I just open my... Oh, I keep forgetting to close Aseprite, and it's like... I think it's only when you close Aseprite that it updates that. So it's like whatever was the last thing I edited months and months ago, or like a year ago, the last time I actually purposely closed it, because why would I ever actually on purpose close such a wonderful little program as Aseprite? Okay, look, I don't know what you're doing, Unity, but could you stop? Because I literally didn't change anything. Can't even resize it or anything. Oh well, let's leave it there for a minute and hope that it hasn't got some kind of infinite loop. I think I would have noticed that last time. So I've basically just been using animation frames to define all these different sprites, even though they're not all different ones. I kind of just put everything in one file for convenience. Why is that looking edited, even though I haven't touched anything? Who knows? Yeah, so I think I want to stop those robots from being able to do anything. Oh, this is annoying me. At this point, it's going to take longer to let this complete than it is to just close Unity and reopen it. Okay, task manager. What's going on? Why, oh, why have we got? Okay. System's really not having fun right now. OBS is eating a bunch of resources. That's not surprising. Where's Unity? It's using a bunch of memory, but apparently not doing anything. Why have we got? I don't remember opening Unity Hub. I intentionally opened this without Unity Hub. Unity Editor not responding. That's more Unity editors than I was planning to have open. Right, could I just kill that one? No. There you go. Let's try that again. Command bots. Let's use this command to open it. Now, I don't remember from when I set that up. And I'm not quite sure what sprite I want to work on here at the moment. So, what I'm going to do is just grab a little grab a little thing here, and I just want to look at this Unity coming back. What's the deal with every time I run this, the window stays open? This command window that I opened it with stays open, and I don't want it to. And it's called .cmd. I don't know what the difference between that and a batch file is exactly, because I don't know everything. It is often good to know stuff in a bunch of depth. It can help you to just understand what's going on with these kind of things. But that's just not one that I've really dug right into. I think this question is, yeah, that's basically is what I want. What if I have the batch file to start both programs instead of starting one and calling another? All right, well, what does my one do? Let me just go here, and I will just pick a random thing to open. Routine editor I was working on. Oh, I think I did make it so you can't edit the robot scripts, because I think I remember updating my has routine to support having a Boolean that says whether or not it's editable. Yeah, editable. So that's good. I think I already did that. Anyway, let me have a look at this little command here. Hello? Let me drop that on there. Yeah. Okay, so that's obviously not working, that exit. And an update. That didn't stay up long enough for me to select update on close. I'll deal with it later. Oh wait, this is it. Sure, why not? Okay, so I don't know if I can make that a start because I need to pass project path here. Start and start. Except when you use double quotes for the path, you have to add a first parameter as that. This title becomes required. Second command. Start that. All right. So basically, if I were to do start empty title followed by that, and then my project path and what have you, maybe that would do it. And get rid of that exit, maybe. And keep the new line, why not? The exit command will not work if your batch file opens another window. Well, I'll keep the exit in there, and I'm just going to test that next time it runs. Hopefully that sorted that out. Right, let's get back into actual game development here. That's ready if I want to make a sprite. That's there if I need it. And I didn't need to close that whole thing, just this. Make a selection system and have that feed into here. That's just grabbing anything of type factory. I believe that I'm actually setting that now from somewhere. That'd be right. I'm going to close this list of robot actions too. Don't need that taking up space. This project's probably starting to get far enough along that I should have a little to-do list. Did that not do anything when I tried to get a find usages, find references? Yep. Find all references. Oh, Shift F12, not just F12. Fair enough. All right, so basically here. Grabbing routine editor. So I've got a to-do to use a subscribe and /notify instead of this. But this here is basically my. I don't know why that's over that side. Oh. So yeah, this is like that selection. So that if I'm running this, please don't take a million years like before. We don't need that. I was already a bit late starting because Windows just decided that the Wi-Fi didn't have anything on it. Didn't have any internet. Okay, that is now working. Nothing was selected before. So that's probably something else I need to do here. Is just if nothing is selected, then this thing should just not be displaying. So that's basically you want to get the thing here. Okay, so I've got a routine editor here, but I also want to get the selection indicator here. And just wire that up into here. I think like a game object. There we go. So that's the selection indicator. And oh, hey, Dr. Awkward. Yeah, sure. I can give you a rundown. Let's see. Good. I didn't take a million years to notice your message. Sure. Well, why don't I run this again? So basically, this is a robot game. Currently, there is one factory over on the left here, but I could turn more on. It's the enemy ones. Let's go the friendly ones. I think the enemy ones would be spawning things at the moment. Let's enable all of those and see what they do. But basically, we've got this is the command palette. The UI is very early at this point. And this is the routine that the robots are running through. So you can see all of them are currently doing walk forward, shoot laser, walk forward, shoot laser. Oops, select a robot. If I grab this factory and let's say the ones from that are going to actually turn left, walk forward, turn right, and maybe just spam lasers for a while. And walk forward, why not? So now this factory has got this set of commands. So that's what its robots are going to be doing. But the others are not. And this one, it's got, yeah, that one spawned while I had only got turn left and shoot. So it's got a shorter version of the routine. And this will probably break things, but these enemy factories, they'll also be spawning robots this way and then battle each other. You need to kind of program them and ultimately also decide what parts you're going to build on your robots. So they'll be able to have sensors and other things, but this is just an early prototype. So you're trying to outmaneuver your opponent with your programmed robots. And right now it's called Command Bots, but I have no idea what it's going to end up being called. So what I'm working on right now is this selection indicator, making sure it doesn't show up when it's not supposed to, when there's nothing selected. And I think I'm initially going to get that selection indicator and make it not active. And then I think also on update, if the thing that is selected gets destroyed, then this looks like a good place to do that actually. So yeah, if you don't have a selection, then do that. But also, I should make that a property because then I could. Selection. We've got to get in a private set. Where are we setting selection here? This is on clicking. What idle am I using? Could you give me a context for that question? Oh wait, is that IDE, but it's been corrected? Corrected to idle? If so, I basically just have Unity Editor and Visual Studio. And whatever version of Visual Studio this is, which is 17.8. Yeah, so Visual Studio for the code. I was using Rider. I think my license ran out for it and I haven't bothered updating that. Otherwise, I would keep using it. Visual Studio has been pretty good with Unity. Like, I guess it's just started doing a lot of the things that Rider did because people wanted them and they wanted people to use Visual Studio. That's my guess. I know nothing about it. It may not have been what happened at all. Maybe they just thought Rider was cool and wanted to be like it or something. Anyway, I was going to invert this condition because that's more better. And I need to also set this to active. Set active to true here. So yeah, when this selection changes, and that is when something's been clicked on. We're updating this selection and then we're setting that in the routine editor. And I also think I want a way to deselect. So I think for one thing, if I click over here, maybe have nothing selected. Not so worried about that. More just I guess that's fine on update. I'm just trying to avoid calling set active every single frame, which this will do. It'll check it every single frame. Do that or that. This one's fine because that's just updating the position. But I mean, I don't think this will have any effect, but I would rather do it in a bit of a smarter way. And that's probably going to be in this set. I think that'll be actually like user setter. What's your problem? Does that work? No. So you could do a shortcut like this, right? And then it'll be backed by a variable that you don't declare manually. But what if you want to do only one and not bother with the other one? What have I done with my browser windows? Oh, here's one. That'll do. So, good. Nothing too embarrassing in my search history. We're looking at C# property automatic backing field. That I'm trying to use key shortcuts in a browser for ID. Here we go. Auto implemented properties is what that is using right now, just here. And so we've got, like get and set. The trivial get and set is just literally a value, and it sets and gets it. And really have to read all this text to understand it. When no additional logic is required in the property accesses. Fine, I'll just... I spent too long trying to look up stuff and find out the best way of doing things, which is like, it's good in the long run that I know more stuff, but it does get a bit in the way of just getting things done sometimes. Let's just do that. And then we can do get, which just returns. Actually, I think I can just do that one as that. And I can do my set a bit more involved. So selection equals value, and I also want to it's going to be active is if the value is not equal to null. So if we have a value for that, can we auto format this? I haven't actually got around to figuring out how to get Visual Studio to just auto format stuff for me. And let's not spend time on that right now. I can do that later. But we just want like a get, set, and we're all good. Okay, so now that should handle the set active whenever the selection changes, as long as it's always changed through this property. And so I'll get rid of this one down here and invert that property again. Invert the if, I mean. Always learning, exactly. It's mainly the balance. You know, if I spend 90% of my time learning and 10% doing stuff, that was good when I was intensively studying, but not a good way to get a lot of stuff done. So I tend to err a bit on the more learning side and less productivity side. So I think it's fine for me to try and overcome that to some extent, just get things done. And yeah, well, they keep changing Unity, right? They keep updating things. So there are plenty of bits that I could know a lot better. And I mean, also, you don't necessarily want to learn all of Unity. It depends what you're doing. So if you're doing something that requires every single feature, then by all means, but it can be a bit of a wasted effort learning parts that if you never utilize them, or if you never utilize that knowledge. So you don't necessarily have to implement something using a system to make use of the knowledge. Like it might inform your understanding that affects how you approach other things, or just knowing whether or not to reach for something can be good as well. Let's see. Okay, so an issue. I was about to sort of go, oh yeah, if it hits something, then update the selection like if it would found something useful, and otherwise clear the selection. But I don't actually want to do that because then if I'm clicking out somewhere else, I'm still going to potentially be clearing the selection, like while trying to edit something. I haven't had a chance to try Unreal yet. I know someone who's tried it. Not someone who had done much programming at the time. He's been doing more, sort of learning a lot more of it lately. So it'll be interesting to have a chat with him about it after he's sort of had a bit more of a chance to learn, all of the layers that you need to be able to talk about programming stuff. I've heard good things about it. The main thing is just the amount of available time I have. Like basically, if I didn't have to do my day job, then I would have had to dig around in Unreal and in Godot probably as well, just to learn how they work and know what to reach for. That's the big thing. I think if I was trying to make a AAA title, then I'd reach for Unreal in the first place. I'm primarily a coder, so I've got no problem with needing to write a lot of code for things, as long as they make sense otherwise. So I think that'd be fine on that front. I tend to like building tooling as well for my team. So it doesn't matter too much if it's a bit heavy on that side. But I mean, a lot of the games that I make these days, it's probably worth me trying to pick up Godot at some point and just give it a try and see what it can do, because it might be a better fit. Although part of that is just the amount of time that I have, and I shouldn't necessarily base everything just on the amount of time I have right now. So what am I doing here? This is making sure that the selection indicator is appropriately hiding and showing. I should be able to confirm that that works. And then I've got other things I want to do. I think I want to make these robots start exploding and damaging stuff, because that's what's going to make them like have a reason to exist. Okay, so right now that should have hidden. Oh no, there we go. It should have done that because I haven't assigned it yet. I used to always just sort of have things like go and find all of these in the code. But overall, just doing that, especially when it's in a prefab and it's just going to stay wired up, and I just need to apply it. It's like, it's not really worth having that extra code to write and maintain. Okay, cool. Thanks for visiting, Dr. Awkward. Oh, sweet. I like subscribers. I think that does stuff. I think you get more privileges or something. I'll figure that out eventually. Now, what do we got? We got that. And, oh yeah, see, to properly test this set active false business, I'm going to need to have these robots disappear somehow. And I mean, I could probably do that just with I got to get not robot pooling, object pooling for those laser beams, and for these robots for that matter. Now, I've only got one robot in robots. Are the others like childhood to the factory? They are. Oh, let's see. When this next robot spawns, I'll select it. And I'm pretty sure that's that one. It is. Okay, and now, what if I do that? Oh, I didn't actually deselect it, right? I guess that's the thing. If these explode, they need to clear the selection. But why don't we make the selector thingy? Let's make that smarter. Can we? Is there a way without this exploding? So if we delete a game object, let me just see what happens if I delete this game object. So let's take that little robot there, select it, and let me actually delete that. There we go. That's not good. Let's stop that from happening. Missing reference exception. Still trying to access it. And we're talking about here, 51. Here, because we're doing selection.transform.position. Okay. So I'll just have a quick look. Give me another one of those browser windows, please. Let's have a quick look at there we go. Select. Check if an object does not exist. And yeah, this looks like someone who was having the issue that I was just anticipating. Okay, so an object is deleted, they get an error. So yeah, that's basically what I'm looking at. So the objects in your focus array have a reference to the game object. Come on, Reddit people. So yeah, I guess it will be null. So yeah, okay, just checking if it's null is the thing to do. So yeah, so basically we want the selection to clear itself. That's interesting though, because we're hitting this, right? Oh yes, the selection is not equal to null at this point. But we're trying to access object of type robot that has been destroyed. Check if it is null. So it's literally that line I was talking about. And these all seem to be referring to the same line. So selection, like I literally have just checked if it's equal to null. Okay. I was just going to make this a bit smarter. So just get the there we go. So I was going to make this a bit smarter and essentially just if it hits that problem basically where the game object is null. Oh, maybe I just need to do selection. So yeah, what? Wait, I'm going to go back to here for a minute. Checking if the collider still exists instead of the game object. So maybe I need to just check if selection.transform exists. So maybe that would fix that error, because I do not want to get that error. And ideally, these robots could just get destroyed, the factories could get destroyed, and they wouldn't have to then call out to the focus indicator and say, hey, I got destroyed, just in case you were focusing on me. So let me clear that and get that running again. But that would be the workaround if there was not a nice way to do this. Okay, so let's select the robot here. Yep. And let's delete that robot here. Delete. Yeah, it's still happening. So I'll just stop that. Let's take a look at one of these. This time, line 49. Yeah, oh, maybe there's a destroyed. Is there a way to check? Yeah, that's kind of what I want to know. Let's see if anyone's got a good, just if not that. So I got a target. Yeah. When the player dies, the game wants to respawn an infinite number of players. Just set that target to be that instantiated one. Is target not equal to null? Don't respawn in update. Yeah. So I guess that's, it's not hitting it because it's not trying to access that. This doesn't look like it's helping. Yeah, Unity. The object of whatever type has been destroyed, and I'm going to know how to check that. This is it. How do I detect if a game object has been destroyed? After an object is destroyed, an equality check with null will return true. Variable does not go null. You can still call something on it, but the double equals operator is overloaded and behaves as expected. Now, am I just having a major brain fart here? If selection is not equal to null, as soon as I call selection.transform, that's when I'm getting this missing reference exception. And I should have actually looked here before. Robot. I has routine. Get transform. Now it's making even less sense. This is robot. This is I has routine. Oh, okay. So I do have a get transform here. That's a property. There. Okay, I think I might see what's happening here. Just calling that calls the getter. And calling the getter is not good because we don't have a robot on that. And it's not necessarily going to be a robot, it could be a factory as well. So that's the issue I have, is that I'm accessing this through an interface. And essentially I'm trying to call a property on an interface. And that property is implemented here to basically get transform. Where is the this is just basically counting on using the standard monobehavior transform getter without having to re-implement it. So it's just calling the monobehavior, but this is not a monobehavior. So by doing it that way, I've kind of created this problem for myself. So basically, yeah, I can't actually check this at all. Maybe I need to override double equals as well. You can't define static methods for interfaces in C#. Cool. Okay. Well, looks like I'm going to be essentially having to get the robots to know, robots and factories to know that they're selected. And then if they get destroyed, then they'd need to tell the selection thingy that they're destroyed. Although Although, can I? Can you subscribe to Undestroy? Yeah, so basically forward to something. That would be a good way to do that. Yeah. So I think what I want here is, okay, I'm going to make this thing a singleton. Which is just going to be let me just make a static. What? Oh yeah, needs a name. Just a little thing called instance here. And just on. I went on start or awake? I think I went on awake. That is a weird way for me to try to spell void. We don't need a private keyword because it is private by default. And more words means more bugs. Yeah, so basically, new instance. It's not equal to no, and instance is not equal to this. Yeah, I just say too many team selection instances. Self-destructing. There we go. So that's just going to do that. And now we've got this property instance. And yeah, that should work. So now all these other things like the factory and the robot. They just need like, I don't think I can make this part of the interface. But essentially, let's just go here and destroy. Okay, we basically just want our what am I going to call on that? Yep. Some kind of a public field to essentially just say, I'm getting destroyed here. They don't actually know whether they're selected or not. Something destroyed, and it's going to be this. Generate that method, and I'll also put this on destroy. Same thing in the robot. So hopefully that will be triggered by me destroying with the menu. Debug.log, I heard something was destroyed. And it is a has routine. Something. It's going to be a robot.factory. If selection is equal to something. Then I'll just log this. Something destroyed. And then we'll set it to null. And setting that to null should do set active false. So that should be fine. Let's test that. How am I going? Gorilla Mod, welcome. I've just been spending ages messing around with my selection thingy. You can see all these beautiful, beautiful exceptions here. And so I just put something in place that hopefully will stop that from happening. So if I select this robot and then I destroy this robot, delete, that should destroy it. Nope. That appears to not have done what I wanted it to. Okay, so what have we got? I have a feeling that I may have forgotten to do something with this. Yeah. Whoopsie. There. Okay. Now then. Those were still there because I hadn't done that, which meant that the other thing that was trying to happen couldn't happen. Just there. Okay. Clear that. Go again. So this is basically once a robot.factory is destroyed, I want the selection indicator to go away. So you are selected. You are about to be destroyed. There we go. I heard something was destroyed. It was the selected thing. Okay, let me select that and destroy this factory robot. That'll be the robot. So I can delete that and again Yep, something was destroyed, but it wasn't that thing. Now I'll select this robot and destroy it. Yes, okay, that seems to be working properly. And the factory, I'll select and just delete that. Oh, yeah, these robots shouldn't be spawning underneath the factory. Yep, that worked. Because then when if the factory gets destroyed, well, I probably just want to set active false on them, really. And probably that should do the same thing. If they're selected, they get set active false. But same deal, actually. If the robot is under the factory and I set it active, or set it inactive, then the robots that it spawned are also going to be a problem. That's why I have this robots thing here. So I'll just try doing that. Yeah, just goes away, which we don't want. We want this to explode and any robots that spawn to just keep on going. It does have the robots container, so it's just not instantiating them in there. That should be a quick fix. Factory, robot, progressing to build. Yes, spawn robot here. We're instantiating it. And is the fourth argument the parent? Yes, so we, instead of transform, we want this robot container, which is already a transform. There. But even cooler, the next thing I think I'll work on is, hang on, I'll let you guess, something that's going to make things a bit more interesting. I'll start making a sprite for it. But first, let me check this thing. So I should have my robots spawning under here. There we go. So, yep, there's that robot under there. This one's got 3 lasers. That one's got 1. I can select the factory and I can just go turn right, walk forward, turn left. Bit more laser. That one missed out on the bit more laser. Next one should have it. Yep. And not editable because they're only editable in here. So that's all working well. Probably make a commit out of that in a minute, but let's just grab some colors and start making a sprite. That looks pretty good. Pretty sweet looking sprite there. Needs maybe a little bit of work, like more colors. That bit's missing color. Now these assets are all placeholders, so I'm not going to animate anything. Well, I animated the laser more than I needed to, didn't I? But I shouldn't have. It's very naughty, and I won't do it again, unless I feel in the mood to do it again. But for now, let's just stick with not doing that. Is that the right way around? Or have I got the colors sort of opposite of where they should be? Doesn't matter. So this is, of course, a big explosion. So that the robots can explode. I might just... does this do that? Yeah. I'll just do that. Oh, that's interesting. Wonder what that line there is. Do I have that line over here? No. Oh well. Just erase that. Not sure where that came from. That's interesting. Yeah, let's put that there. Let's just say that's good enough. That's the explosion. Done. And just export that sprite to the correct location. A wonderful bring noise as well. Okay. So, got my explosion nearly ready to go. Just need to reslice this sprite. It'd be nice to just set a sprite up to say, just whenever you re-import, just reslice it with the same cell size settings. There probably is something I could set up, but I probably have to make a bunch of code. All right, let's see how that looks. Oh yeah. Kaboom. It's the wrong place. Oh yeah, save that. Yeah, boom. Amazing. It's still behind that robot, isn't it? Yeah, it doesn't matter. So I've got an explosion. So basically I need them to take damage. I'll need health and stuff like that. Do I want to do that? Like, I think I probably want a separate script for this. So there. It's tempting to code that like inside the factories, but inside the factory and robot or make something that imports into them. But no, I think here I want a different mono behavior. Oh, this is for a health having thing. And everything that has health is also going to be like have a collider and be damageable. So I can do like a require component. And I'm just quickly thinking through what I want to do here. So we've got, these are things that are going to potentially have health, be able to collide with each other. So they'll want probably colliders and rigid bodies. And they will be able to do a certain amount of damage on collision, and they'll be able to potentially die unless they're invincible, which is probably just a toggle that I could have so that I could like slap a rock somewhere and say it's invincible, and then they can just run into it forever without it dying. And things that are invincible wouldn't like have a health bar. So what are these things? Just in the most general sense. It's pretty much any non-ephemeral object in the whole thing's going to be like this. I sort of want to call it a damageable thing, but then if it's invincible, it's not really damageable. It's like a collidable object. Hittable. Yes, I think a hittable. Hittable object is what this is going to be. Gripping stuff here. So basically, let me put a thing here. There's any object such as factory robot walls, etc. That can be collided with. Wait, let me put that the other way around. Such as that. They will generally have hit points. And maybe collision damage. That may be invisible. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so I think we're going to just here acquire component. Okay, they must have a Collider 2D. And they must also have a rigid body 2D. And I think that's all they need. Not for this system to work, but yeah, so do I want to work? Yes, I want this to work as integer values because I don't want the player to think that something has like 1 hit point left when it actually has like 0.4 hit points left or something. Stick with integer values. And this is going to be the hit points. Let's just call it HP. Is there a healing? Well, we want the max hit points as well. Because that way we can do a health bar. So these things could easily have a health bar attached to them. Is there anything else I want? The only other thing is like collision damage. If a robot runs into a factory, how much damage does that robot do? It might do more damage if it's like a battering ram robot, or a robot that has a battering ram attached. Whereas the amount of damage that a factory does to a robot, or a rock does to a robot when it gets collided with, that'll probably be fairly constant. This one probably could use a tooltip. Just to explain that it particularly pertains to how much damage the other party takes in a collision. And that is specifically, I'll put a note of that. There we go. Robot with a battering ram can do more damage. Or like a bigger robot. And so on. It could be speed related. Like if you run twice as fast into a wall, you probably take like double that wall's collision damage. All right, so yes, I guess we can get the collider and stuff. Do I need the collider? I don't think I necessarily need that collider. Where would we be? Actually, that's kind of my nearly end of stream alarm. When I get the message from someone selling cheap viewers, is this the same person every time? I don't know. But I think let's just go with... do I want to block the viewers thingy? It might actually count as a viewer, in which case that's even cheaper. It's one free viewer. Complimentary viewer. I'll leave it there. Because, yeah, if it gets me to one of the tiers in Twitch that lets me turn on some new features, then that's probably good overall. All right, so what I want to do here is, so this HP, I'm basically going to probably have that set in the prefabs, but it might need to be set in the, like set by the factory when it's spawning the robot, based on the parts that robot has. There might be something like armor that gets factored in here. Anyway, I think what we want to do is, like, on collision, enter 2D. We're basically going to do some damage. Unless we're invincible, of course. Let's just, of course. Default not. I don't know how many hit points is good. Let's try 100. Is that a good number? Do I want like 10? Well, this way it's like a percent, so that's good. Okay, so we'll basically take some damage. You know, I was going to say if we're invincible, we basically don't want to do anything, do we? Nothing to do. No, why would I set inventory? So basically, we're going to try to. We can only collide with other things of this same type. Collision. The incoming rigid body 2D involved the collision with the other rigid body. Which is which? Collider. Okay, the collider. We do have our relative velocity there. And what's rigid body here? So this is all of the incoming objects. So I don't think that necessarily says which was this one or the other one. But let's just check. So we're basically trying to get another one of our editable object things out of here. So I basically made my own version of a collider. Or a thing that goes with a collider and rigid body system that adds those things to it. Let me just get this robot here. So we've got sprite render animator, we've got a collider here, and it allows us to get raycast hits by clicking. Do you have to have rigid bodies to collide? I don't know. I think you, to some extent, do. But I'm going to add a hittable object script on here. And now I've got a rigid body. Because that automatically adds it. Okay. Now I've got that robot script and a hittable object. Cool. Does lasers and stuff. Okay. Oh, I think I hadn't saved this, so it didn't start with. Oh, it doesn't have the invincible toggle. Let's just see that. Oh, nearly out of time here. There we go. Invincible, no. 100 hit points. Makes 100. That'll be relevant when I'm showing the health bar. Collision damage. It will run into something and do like 50 damage. Alright, so basically take some damage and also like bounce back if doing a movement. Needs to kind of snap to the position. So yeah, that's interesting. Actually, I have an animation for the walk forward, and that could be interrupted by the collision. So what happens there? Interesting. We will find out in the future. Okay, so we basically try and find another hittable object, and then if other is equal to null, then we want to return, because we basically haven't hit something that's hittable. And now at this point, this is when we want to take some damage. So basically, other dot collision damage. Hit points. Take damage off that. If HP is less than 0, HP equals 0, yep. Somebody's written that code before, I can tell. And then now, this is like we die. And done with that. But, well, there is a .is destroyed on game object. That's interesting. Anyway, game object dot destroy game object. Yeah, like this game object. Yeah, so basically then, yeah, if they get to 0, don't do that. Oh yeah, we probably want to like spawn an explosion and stuff as well. So I better get myself a explosion prefab. I don't really feel like this is the right place to put that. I feel like we want like an explosion factory of some sort. To do spawn an explosion. To do make a cool noise. I should just make a particle emitter for the explosion, but I'm going to stick with my cool sprite for now. And I might as well just do the explosion here. There we go. Take an explosion prefab. And then I can instantiate that. And we want it at this position, returning into identity. And I think if you don't specify the parent, it'll just be whatever parent. So let's just stick with that for the moment. And that is done. Now I need to make an actual prefab. So let's grab this explosion. Sure, let me just reset that transform. And do this one like -5 or something. -9. I think the camera's at about like -7 or something. Camera's at about -10. It's literally just a sprite, and I want it to have like a limited lifespan. Actually, I might not even need to do anything there. I could have this just last a certain amount of time with a script that would do that. Yeah, if I start a coroutine on this, it's not going to work. Yeah, I'm going to make a explosion script. It's not actually the explosion script. This is just a destroy after. Let's call it delayed destruction. Delayed self-destruct. I'll just call it self-destruct. There we go. So I'll make my self-destruct script. So this would be more generally reusable than making a special explosion script. And essentially, all we're doing is two different ways I could handle this. I could start a coroutine that will destroy it after a certain delay, or I could, in update, I could check how much time has elapsed, so I need to save something. So let's go with the coroutine. Something like that. I forget how that works. Let me find an example of a coroutine. Let me just Google it rather than dig around in my code. Unity coroutine example. Because it's late and I forgot. Something like public void enumerator. Something. Just enumerator. Then a name. Okay, that's fine. And there. Destroy after delay. And this self-destruct needs a yes serialized field. It is a float. So that kind of might not be necessary. Because that's just shadowing that anyway. And then we just want to start coroutine. What's that start coroutine auto about? It's deprecated. Fine. I won't bother learning what it is then. So that basically should be all we need to do. Get rid of these using statements that are not relevant. And let me find my explosion again. right here. Give it a self-destruct. Oh, I should say default lifetime. Say 1 second for a thing. Then we can just update that as needed. Okay, explosion. Let's get this show on the road. Let's self-destruct you. Let's go just there. Could also do fancy stuff with it, you know, moving in some way. But I mean, that's a bit too fancy. Don't want to look showy. I'll just have it up here and then. Whoa, what just happened? What just happened to that robot? Did it just crash into something and die? Oh, I know what happened. It has gravity. It's not meant to have gravity, but it does. I didn't mean for it to have gravity. Okay, let's put this thing, explosion, into a prefab. And let's grab our robot, who is hittable, and give it an explosion prefab. Like that. It's not invincible. Okay, and I'm also going to get this rigid body here. And let's for now say it's kinematic. So the animation can just keep moving it. Hopefully that'll work. I think yes. All right, now where's gravity? Oh yeah, I think when I said dynamic here, then it's got like mass and gravity stuff. But let's go kinematic here. All right, so that should allow it to spawn. No, that should stop doing that silly thing. We've got that prefab there. It's not invincible. And let's just apply all that. And let's also grab this robot. Put it here. If I do that, will that successfully turn it around, or is it just going to animate the other way? So at the moment, lasers don't actually hit things, but it fires lasers that way. Just shooting over its shoulder there. Or its head's just done backwards. So are these going to hit each other? And if they do, will any explosions happen? Okay, just pause that. Let's have a look at these guys. Oops. Did what I wanted when I paused. Okay, it's got 50 hit points. Its maximum is 100. Because it's fully kinematic, it's not moving back when it runs into something. Did I need to stick to the grid? No, not really. It's going to be a battlefield, so no need for it to be exactly good. Let me unpause that then, because I think something's going to happen here. Boom! Exploded. And once those lasers are working, that'll probably work a lot better. But I can actually get some explosions probably happening here if I just have them go forward a few steps and then just take a couple of lefts and shoot a laser just for fun. Okay. Whoa. What the? Where are you going? What happened? What happened to this robot? You're not damaged. Oh, is the turn left maybe a little broken? I don't know what happened with that turn left before. Just ended up nice. So right now the collisions don't do enough damage. It would probably be nice if they just sort of bounced off something once and then kept going with their routine. But it's also fine having them just explode. Whoa, cool. What just happened? Definitely something maybe related to them having rigid bodies that are kinematic, because this was not happening before. That's going to look really interesting in, like, what are they up to? Let's get out of 2D and see what's going on, see if we can detect anything here. Because when they're rotating slowly, I suspect they might be rotating in another plane as well. Where did that one go? I had selected. Yeah. Wonder if that's something that would happen in a real game or just not happen. Okay, well, let's get these things destroying their factories. So that robot. Just a transform. Interesting. No, we don't need to apply that. Transform change. Let's grab a factory and make that be a hittable object. With like 1,000 hit points. Why is that the default collision damage? Well, let's say it's 100. So if you run the robot into a factory, it gets exploded. Okay. Should be about all we need, except that explosion prefab. That's what I don't like about this way of doing it. Pretty much need to put the explosion prefab in everything. Although I guess it means if I had a bigger explosion for the factory, or a custom one that had chunks of factory, then that would be good. So there's going to be a problem with this, which is that they're going to spawn the robots spawn in the factory, and so I probably want to make sure they're not not having that happen. Whoa! I forgot about the gravity of the situation. Oh yes, so when I added that, it actually added a rigid body, and we want that to be a static rigid body, and that should be fine. Yeah, so that should all be basically fine there. And why don't I enable these factories here? Let them do their thing. And why don't I enable these factories over here? Oops. It's that I need to enable. There, now these factories, I think, need to all be rotated. 180. So that they'll spawn their robots the right way. So just select all of those. Yep, there we go. The upside down factories. And let's watch them all get exploded by their own robots. That could be fun. We've got that random explosion there. So after about 5 seconds, we should probably just see a big bunch of explosions. Boom. Now they should all be damaged. Can't see the hit points on there. If I go here, got a bunch of things. Hittable object here. Yeah, down to 900, taking 50 damage every time. But the robots are taking 100 damage. Come on, robot, do your thing. Boom. Okay, so yep, that's doing what I thought it would do. Not what I want it to do. So I guess the issue here is our factory. We play walk forward. What we probably want to do is play a spawn script, and we don't want to allow. That should be similar to walk forward, but the so let's just grab our robot. So it'll be same as the walk forward script. Animations. Let's look at our animator window. For the robot. And here we've got walk forward, which is basically just this robot walk animation. Right there. So now we want the animation. Go here. And I'll just select that robot. And we've got robot walk animation. Can I just duplicate robot walk animation? Is that duplicate, or can I copy paste? spawn animation. Right. So I'll just do duplicate that, copy, paste. Narrow the selection, one animator state. Forward 0. Okay, so we'll just change this to be called spawn. And we'll give it robot spawn animation. And spawn. There we go. I think that's the name that I need for that. And so let's just grab this exact transition. Oh, can I now paste the state transition? Don't know if that actually worked. Anyway, let's transitions, make transition to here. And we want that to basically be the same as here. So we'll forward to exit, speed 1, so on. Spawn to exit. And the one fixed duration 0, 0. So that's that, isn't it? Yep. Cool. Okay. Great. Okay, so now I need to actually get that spawn animation, which appears to be open in here, so that's cool. So I would add a property here, which is basically for the collider enabled. So at this point and at that point, at this point, we want it to be not enabled. And at that point, we want it to be enabled. And that does not appear to be working. Let me put this here. And have my robot selected. Record. Okay, so my robot. Let me switch that back to 2D so I can actually see what's going on. Sort of. The robot's a bit buried in stuff right now. Right. So we'll grab that and just disable it. That'll mean it's not selectable until it's finished exiting the factory as well. That's fine because if you click before it's out of there, it'll be on the factory. Okay, and then jump to the last bit, and that's enabled. So that seems fine. Turn recording off, and it might work. Should probably like warm up these. Oh no, the robot's still spawning up that way. Oh, quaternion identity. I think we just want like our own transform.rotation in there. All right, so these should now run into there and explode, except that one. And after a while, they'll end up breaking. But let's get that working properly. Then once I get lasers working... Oh, hey there. Mega Killer, what have we got? What are other programming languages you know? Any preferences? I don't even remember all of the languages I know. That's how many I know. All right, I have... long time ago I did Java. I've done a lot of JavaScript. I do a fair amount of TypeScript these days. I've worked with Python. I don't use it very much. It's fine. I've done some Ruby work, like Ruby and Rails. It's all right, but it's a bit uncomfortable compared to... I'm very used to the C-style languages. Elm is really nice. Haven't used it for anything professionally. A long time ago, and we're talking several decades, I wrote code in Chaos. That was one of the first things I programmed in. That was basically a custom scripting language for a game. For Creatures 2, I believe I was making objects that worked in there. Oh yeah, I'm a full-time developer. That's my day job, and I basically intend to keep doing that unless I can get enough income related to game development, and then I'll do game development full-time. What else have I used? There are others. Haskell. Haskell's wonderful to work with. Java got old as soon as I started learning Haskell because, I've written C as well. I haven't used it very much. C and C++. I kind of purposely learned them before I learned higher level languages because I didn't want to be too naive to all of the nice stuff that it's doing. By C, do you mean C#? Because C# has more in common with Java than it does with C. In the same way that JavaScript has more in common with Lisp than it has with Java. Oh, is that still true? I don't know if that's still true. It's changed a lot. Anyway, languages. Yeah, so Haskell's got a really good type system. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, so actual C. That's good. Yeah. Some people would say Java to mean JavaScript and C to mean C#. So that's why I thought it worth asking. Yes, embedded. I haven't tried like Rust or Go for that matter, which I guess might be relevant for embedded use cases. I'm not sure. I've also written a moderate amount of PHP, which not by choice, just out of necessity. What else? There's always bits and pieces of other things that, like Lisps, ML. I wrote some OCaml code because I was using a tool that was written in OCaml and needed to patch something. So that was fun. What was that? That was that was for Flow. So before TypeScript existed, there were like Flux and Flow. Is that right? No, flux was something else. But there were a couple of different tools to basically attempt to do pre-runtime type checking and inference for you. And there was a bug in Flow. So basically learned enough OCaml to fix that. So yeah, that's cool. So embedded's interesting, not something I've really ever done. Is that like writing code that ends up on chips that go into devices, or something else? What can I do here? I know I can outmaneuver them. So get this one to go forward. No, when the other one goes forward, this one will turn right and go into its lane, then go left, and then start going forward. Oh, we got that weird angle thing going on. Again, the shooting does nothing. I should just remove that. Just have them go forward, forward, forward. And then could have this one do similar, but it'll go, let's see. I need to waste a little bit of time. So I'll have it go right, left, then go left and into the other one's lane and turn right. And it's going to be doing that repeatedly though. And there's definitely something wrong with the turning animations. They're meant to be going 90 degrees. So that maybe wasn't just a fluke before. Maybe there's something wrong with my prefab. But have I been damaging some of these? Have some of them made their way through? I'm not going to actually see. I don't have a health bar. I need to add health bars on these things. But anyway, any of these factories, this one, is it damaged? It has been damaged, yes. Oh, but that's going to be letting them through onto our factories too. Chips and microcontrollers. Cool. I thought it might be something along those lines. It doesn't sound fun superficially, but then I can see that being a bit interesting, depending on what you're writing. I tried to make an ALU in Minecraft once because I heard that somebody had made one. But I heard that they'd used a book, so I thought I might just try without a book and I'll just work from first principles. I had no idea how redstone worked. So I just thought, okay, well, I'm going to need to make I need to be able to make a NAND gate. So I just started playing around and figured out how to do NOT and OR. And then out of those, you can pretty much just make anything you like. Just got to build up enough things. So I think I ended up with about 8 bits with two 8-bit inputs that could be set, and then it would add them together, and then had a memory module where you could press a button and it would put the value into memory, and then a switch that you could switch to have it take the value in memory and put it in as one of the inputs. So you could basically just add some numbers together. It was a very interesting process, and I don't know how many hours it took me, but I was entertained for those hours. I wonder if any of these are ever going to explode, but I've got to set up. Let's sell on 900. I want to sell on 1,000. I saw this one take a hit. That HP is only 50. I think we got some of these running into their own. There we go. Boom. We've actually blown up a factory. So I need some invincible walls to go around the outside. with high collision damage. And probably need to get those lasers working, but I better do that next time because I'm already over time. 100k of RAM, that's a huge number. I can't imagine anyone would ever need more than that. It sounds like actually an interesting challenge. A bit, maybe sort of one foot in the kind of little puzzle game kind of territory where you've got to figure out how to shuffle enough stuff into the limited memory that you've got. And yeah, actually with like, I know modern C++ can do some good stuff with smart pointers so that you don't have to do too much. You don't have as much ability to shoot yourself in the foot with memory management, but yeah, it sounds like a really interesting one. But yeah, like C, you just don't get that. Oh, geez. So yeah, you've got like, that sounds really challenging. Yeah, I guess actually did that sort of expand and pick up a lot with Internet of Things. So like, there's a lot more light bulbs that need embedded programming than they used to need to be. Light globes, doorbells, and so on. I imagine there's a lot of industrial stuff that I've just got no idea about as well. But really confused about these turn left and turn right and so on. Why would they only be turning by a smaller angle? It's only some of them as well. It's really weird. Anyway, okay. I'm going to make some walls. Yeah, I got like a couple of Wi-Fi light bulbs that were in the house when we moved in. And it was too much of a pain in the ass to get them working. So I now have not those and some other ones that have a hub and work with a low energy protocol. Automated golf trolleys and people tracking systems. Now, I don't know if that's like one combined thing, but I'm just imagining that it is. And so the golf trolleys follow the people that they're tracking. Which actually, that makes sense. Is it that? Is it both at once? Or is this like people tracking because China needs to keep track of everyone? And there's a lot of applications for tracking people that I can think of at the moment. Okay, I'm going to make some walls and then I'm going to go to bed because I'm tired. Walls need a wall sprite, of course. Let's grab ourselves a new frame, make sure that it is not accidentally deleting the old one. And what are walls made out of? I think they're made out of this color. And I think they look kind of like, let's grab some squares to start with and just get I think what I want is like a thing like that. And then a thing at the bottom a bit like this. Make that like more even. And then something like that. And then just like make that line do that instead. Let's do that. Okay. Now, is that going to be even? Shouldn't worry too much about that. Oh yeah, what do we got? One product with both at once. Yeah, again, kind of makes sense because that's kind of, you don't want to have to walk all the way back to the golf trolley. Oh yeah, cool. That's actually technology doing good stuff. Using technology for good instead of evil. It's nice when we do that. Like when I made this app on here because I have ADHD, and getting paid once a month is not very, like, secretly getting paid into a bank account where there's no visibility of it. It doesn't really do anything to motivate me to be able to focus on the work. So let's reset that thing. There we go. I forget why this is related to what you were talking about. Oh yes, of course. Using technology for good instead of evil. So basically, it is an app that you put in your salary. Okay, hang on. Let me figure out how to line this up here. You put in your salary in the settings up there, and then it basically just ticks along slowly and shows on this side an amount of time. And while it's running, every time you earn $1, it just makes a coin clinky noise. It chooses a random coin clinky noise from a small set of them. And I'll just hold it here so that you get to hear the noise whenever that happens. Unless it gets noise cancelled out. I'm not earning money right now, but it doesn't put that information anywhere, so it doesn't really matter. It's not going to break anything. Something a bit darker for the bottom here. And it's basically using the same kind of thing that keeps people pulling the lever on slot machines, but just turning that to good instead of evil. And that was the whole reason why I remembered that thing. Man, it takes me depressingly long to earn $1. There it goes. I could make it even more effective, I know, using psychology. Same thing as the slot machine psychology. Could basically make it save up a random amount of coins, probably, anywhere from between 1 and 10. And so you might get a clink after a minute, or whatever it is. You might get a clink after 5 minutes, but or rather, you might get several clinks after 5 minutes. So adding that random element so you can't predict when you'll get the reward is another thing that would make it more effective as a thing. Let's add some weathering to this. I don't know what that is. A bird with long legs ran into it and left a dent. That could be what that is. I'm sure I could figure out how to make nice looking little pixely cracks here. But on the other hand, I could just put some random junk. There we go. That looks a bit concretey. Put some cracks on the top as well. Get them joined onto these ones. Don't want it to look too fresh, There, it's a concrete wall. I feel like it needs this color line along here. Something like that, maybe there as well, since we've got those natural places where the line does wonky stuff. And that shouldn't be such a dark edge there. Give it where it is, up on the top. More or less a final game loop, yeah. So basically, it'd be sort of start the game. Could be 2-player with an opponent. That would kind of make sense, or it could be single player with just the enemy factories just spawning whatever, or maybe some kind of AI player. I don't mean AI like the modern definition of it. I mean AI like just something I have coded that does stuff, and then it and maybe like environmental obstacles as well that you have to kind of direct your robots around, and then you basically just need to try to destroy all the opponent's factories, and not just setting up the routines like this, but also within the factories you'd customize what parts they have. So particularly adding sensors on there so that they can react, and having non-linear, well, they'll still be quite linear, but having routines that can deviate from just a single thing, but instead have like a branch based on sensor inputs. So there'd be a point in the routine where they check, is there an enemy within 3 squares or in the direction I'm facing, or something like that, and that would determine whether they stop and shoot or keep walking forward, be able to sort of go in a loop. That's basically it. That's the whole concept. Yeah, good point. Do you need to find a different name for that? I mean, you could. It's not a generative AI, and it's not actually AI in the broader sense, right? Yeah. What would we call that? I think we tend to call things bots when they're controlling. It's sort of, well, no, right? A bot is like a single thing acting as an agent that's following some kind of program that's possibly adaptive. So maybe something like that. But then, yeah, if you're talking about something that's controlling multiple things, it tends to be called an AI, not a bot. Well, I don't need to solve that one right now. I just want to make some walls, so I'll need to export that there so that we can get that here and re-slice that. Yep, looks nice. Slice, apply, and for some reason apply there as well. And let me make a wall piece here. Basically, I just want walls around the outside, so then things can just get wrecked by crashing into them. Have I got grid snap available? I know how to snap this to the grid. There, snapped. Now I will give that thing one of these scripts, make it a hittable object. Did that work or not work? No. Your argument is invalid. Okay. I have to add a collider or it's not going to do. Oh, yeah, because it just doesn't know Doesn't know what kind of collider to use. 1 by 1 sounds good. And it can add the rigid body because there's only one type of rigid body. That rigid body. Okay. HP, irrelevant, but let's give it 1,000,000. And max hit points 1,000,000. And collision damage, also 1,000,000. So if they hit each other, they're in trouble. But that should do. We've got our collider, we've got our rigid body, and this is going to be a static rigid body, and that should be all we need there. We've got our collider, and might make this like tiny bit smaller than 1, just so that they're not colliding with each other. Although I don't think static colliders collide with each other anyway. No, let's make it exactly 1. That should be fine. Okay, that is a wall. I will make a prefab out of that. We'll make a empty game object here called walls. Yes, that's a good name for it. Let's just reset its transform. And I'm going to make a walls that is yeah, I think I'll make each row of walls be certain, like a separate object. So I guess I'll put that one up at y = 8. And then I put that wall in there. And let's just duplicate. How many do I need? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And some for the top and bottom. That might be good enough. Yeah, whatever their number is, I'll put them there. Well, once again, I'm very bad at going to bed when I'm tired, and it is getting real cold in here because I wasn't supposed to still be here. And I can go there, and then I think I'll just take the whole lot of them. And move them this way by that much. Then I'll take this whole set of walls, duplicate that, and put those down here. And I'll need to move those buttons at some point. All right, now these walls just need to rotate this 90 around that axis and slap them in there. Very sophisticated here. That up there. Okay, so I'll do that, and then I can get the last couple out of here. And for this one, yeah, that's about right. And just a few out that I'm not using. Okay, now there are walls around everything. Hopefully those are all going to be correct. Let's give it a try. So now I can't have robots going off escaping out into the middle of nowhere. And next time I'll get the lasers working. So let me see if I can adjust this camera a little bit. Oh, you can't really see the wall at the top. It doesn't matter too much. All right, let's just get this one. And let's instead have them go forward and then turn right and go forward and then shoot, but they'll never get a chance because boom, straight into the wall. Now, how's that wall doing? It should be in perfect working order still. It's in here. It is that one. It's taken a few hits and it's still at 1 million. Wait, is it that one? No, it's that one. Also still at 1 million. So there we go. Now there's starting to be some consequences for steering your bots wrong. And one consequence, for example, is that this factory is getting damaged. So we need health bars and we're going to need lasers to work. I'll get the lasers working first, then I'll add health bars. Oh, I know where I can put a to-do list. Here we go. A to-do list. And just here, we need to add health bars. And make lasers work. There we go. Let's see if I notice that next time. Right. I better wrap that up. So let's just check that into version control. Oh, it's already open here. Cool. So this is some stuff. What did I actually do here? So I stopped them colliding with what they were doing. Yeah, cool. So I've done a few things related to damage and collisions. Make sure that's all saved up. And add collisions. Hit points, damage, and walls. Sweet. I might just delete this initial explosion here. We don't need it. And I think I need to save my scene. Let's have project 2 just for fun. So let's just remove unneeded explosion. And I think I can actually have this selection indicator start out not enabled. And it will just become enabled as soon as I select something. this or that. Yeah, I think we'll win if we make these just march forward faster. We'll destroy the enemy factories before they can destroy ours. But I think I do want to try that strategy of having this turn and get into the other lane. The problem is, if it does that, what are you doing? It's doing that weird thing again. Look for turn right. Managed to dodge that other one. And that's just veering into the wall. Maybe just walking forward, hey? See, none of them are spawning anything any faster than the others. He has indeed lost his mind. I forgot to program him a mind. What have I done? Why are these ones out of sync? Let me try another factory here. Let's get... Let's try turn left and see what happens. Yeah, the left isn't working very well either. Oh, that's interesting though. Looks like he's managed to dodge out of the way. It kind of shouldn't, because their colliders are not tiny. Where's your collider? There. I think it turns 90 degrees the second time. I will need to fix that. Worst case scenario, I can just stop using the animator for that and just interpolate myself between the two angles. All right, what are you doing? When are we going to lose one of these? I think we need more collision damage. Am I losing? I need health bars. Definitely need health bars. I also need to not stay up all night because tomorrow is not a day when I can just sleep all day. They never are anymore. $700. I'm definitely losing. Look, now it's working properly. I wonder if that is just like a... I wonder if I'll stop seeing that weird turning thing when I actually run a build. And this is actually in a state where I could run a build now. The lasers don't work, but everything else is kind of working and you can play around with it and make them do stupid stuff. I guess I should try... What I kind of want to do is have one of them follow another. So let me try this one. I want to turn left, go into the other one's lane, turn right, and then just keep walking. And hopefully, by the time it does that again, it'll have enough space. Wait, did that one just walk straight through that one? Oh wait, they do that, don't they? They walk through one. And then I want this one just to go forward. Like, stay out of the way. So that one can kind of clear the way a bit. Then it explodes. But now that one's going through. I need... Let's see. Is it ever going to manage to... Okay, I want these to get into the same lane as well. So where that one immediately turns, I need this one to sort of pause. So I guess shooting the laser is like a pause. And then it can turn, go forward, and do the same sort of thing. Hopefully then not crashing into the other one. Wait. How is that happening? They were doing so well until they crashed into stuff. But I certainly wasn't seeing collisions when I expected. Like just there. Why are they not colliding with each other? Oh, actually they probably did. Yeah, they are. Okay. That's good. I think those collisions need to be displayed somehow as well, so that you can tell. So I think this one needs to pause for longer than that. So let's make that be there, and that be there, and that be there, and do 2 lasers worth of pausing instead. There we go, that gets them out of the way. They sort of need to wait, don't they? So now we have 3 headed up here. I don't know if any of this is actually doing anything useful, but we'll see. I kind of want to just watch it until until a factory gets destroyed. Because once, oh, there we go, I've lost a factory. So actually, that means that these robots are now going to be running into the wall there, so that's good. But bad that I'm not getting as many spawned here. And I guess I'm just not blocking any of these, so that one's going to blow up sometime. Have I been damaging any of this at all? Let me check. Okay, that one's on 950, that one's still on 1,000, that one's down to 800, 400. So slowly getting that one down. 650, 950, 1,000. This is where cleverly timed lasers, once they work, could give a big advantage. So I think if one of their factories explodes, then I can start funneling all my robots from the opposite factory into helping destroy one of the existing factories. Okay, that one did damage there. Must have. Just here, right? 800. This one's on 400. Okay, how can I get this one damaged more? What have I got right now? I think if I just set this one to doing a rush charge straight. Oh. Oh, what happens here? So at the moment, this will be trying to update the routine for whatever is selected. But nothing's selected. So I think I need to do some code related to that. That'll be in the routine editor, I think. I think just here. Oh, sorry. Stuff here that I missed. Robots blow up even if they're in the same team. So far, yes, I have friendly collisions on. I don't know if I'll keep that. It'll be a matter of playtesting. But I thought, yeah, you probably do want to make sure your robots aren't bumping into each other as sort of part of the challenge. Yeah. Like, I don't think I'll have it work quite like this, where they just walk through each other. So if they bump into each other, I think they'll sort of get bumped back, but they'll keep blindly following their routine after that. Just try and do whatever the next step is. So that means if their routine has them turn towards a wall and then start walking into it, instead of just making the walls do a million damage, instead they just start bumping into the wall and keep doing that until they explode. Or if they have something where they would walk into a wall and then turn some other way, they could do that and maybe not explode. But yeah, potentially it means that you could block enemy robots in a way that makes them then run into each other by sort of maybe delaying one so another one comes and crashes into the back of it or something. But you'll also have sensors, so you'll be able to, that'll be, I think, one of the earlier things to do. Just like attach sensors to your robots and have them not walk forward if there's something in front of them. So basically, I've managed to I've just managed to disadvantage myself basically by whatever I've done. My factories that were sending the robots off to another lane were destroyed because they weren't being protected. So I'm not sure what I can do with just this. I could just try. Oh, let's see. That's already just going to keep going forward, forward, forward. And yeah, if I send a robot over here to try and help destroy that one, this one will end up getting destroyed. I think if you're really well coordinated and got 3 factories, or why don't I try that? 3 factories coordinated to all send their robots to a single other factory. Like this one. Let's say I get all 3 of these going there, and then hopefully blow that up, and then start these ones going straight forward. So this one, just go forwards. This one, I think just it's going to be turn right, go forward, turn left, then go forward a lot. But that's not going to end up at that factory. That's the problem. Because I've only got 10 commands and there are 10 spaces to walk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It needs to take 10 steps to run into the factory. So what would it need to do in order to do that? Maybe this one can't do it. Maybe it has to be that one. So maybe that one takes a couple of steps forward. Or maybe it doesn't need to take a couple of steps forward. Maybe it'll just turn right, go forward twice. No, yeah, just once, because the whole point is it's trying to get 2 factories over. So something like that. So now it's helping. Oops, Yeah, no, that's right. There, so now it's blown up that one. So now we're going to have two going over here. But that one could help keep that one alive. So what are we hitting? We're hitting that one. That's actually probably good. Those middle two are both low, aren't they? Oh, it doesn't want to switch to scene view. Is that because I've gone and like given it too much garbage collection by not using object pooling? Okay, there we go. Now it's doing scene view. 250 for that one, 350 for that one. I'm just going to leave it doing that for now, because that is like this is kind of slow and tedious, right? Because I don't have the proper set of things to be able to do. I can't have them react to anything. I'm not able to like load up a robot with a shield, and not able to have a robot like set up as a turret and rotate and shoot at things. I do intend to have the routine be able to split into multiple stages so that, there we go. Got one of them destroyed. And that was from here, right? So I think if I add a bit more walking forward before going across, that might be useful. What's this one doing? That's just going forward. That's just going forward. Oh, we got that weird turn happening again, which does strange things to the colliders. Okay, so this one here, that's been destroyed. Great. Uh-oh. Okay, let's have these go. Go forward a fair amount. Oh, I can have them go across by just one. By doing the movement first. Then turn left. Move forward. And turn right. There we go. So now this one can help get that one cleared. And this one, I think I need to stop those turns from happening because they're just going wrong. Yeah, how long does it? I think it takes about a second for a movement to happen. So if I just have this one do a bunch of shooting. Then I'm going to end up with them sort of piled up. I had one more shot there, I think. I need to put the move there instead. That way I'll have one sitting here. Oops. Now, are these going to destroy each other? I think the shooting takes longer than I thought. Let's try that. See if they run into each other. I mean, something will probably run into that one because I don't think that one's got to move at all. It's just going to sit there and get exploded by this one that spawns. Then this one will get exploded by that. And the factory takes damage. Okay, I've broken that now. This one needs to go across Too many. Go left, forward, and right. Probably need to be able to pause factories as well so they don't spawn something while you're in the middle of editing this. Although that maybe is a bit funnier. Oh, we got wacky movement again. Now what's this one going to do? I do want this one to shift across by 2. So I think I'll do the turns somewhere in the middle here. Hopefully that'll get it across too. Yeah. More weirdness happening with the rotations. So these 3 all should be aiming for that one. Except this one hasn't shifted across far enough because of that weirdness, but it still hit. One of them's still hitting that. What was that? And this one's just here pretending to shoot lasers because they don't actually do anything. Okay, well, I think I could win this against the dumb bot because just walking forward is enough to defend these infinitely since they're spawning at the same rate. And so I would just need to take the bots from these 2 factories and have them make their way over there. So I could even do better with that factory. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 across. On the 10th across, I want to be going down the 3rd down. So basically I want to do it like that. 2, 3. 3 steps forward, 1 step to the right. 3 steps forward, 1 step to the right. 3 steps forward, 1 step to the right. What if I need 4 steps forward? And 1 to the right. No, it would end up in the wall. So yeah, I think this one needs 3 steps forward, followed by 1 step to the right, which means right, forward, left, to there, and then right. Oh, actually, so do 3 forward, up from there, 1, 2, 3, and then turn there, take 1 step, and then 1, 2, 3, turn there, 1 step, 1, 2, boom. You know, need to get rid of that step there. Taking out all those factories. So yeah, these ones are just here playing defense. These ones just need to take several steps forward. And go left, forward, right. Did this one get that in time? They're just annihilating each other. Oh. That did not work as intended, but it worked. There's no reason they should have to turn 90 degrees, other than the fact that it's just easy to input. So I could easily have like a rotate by a specific number of degrees to have them sneak in between. Depends what kind of game it should be. On a grid is a bit more like chess. Don't know what's going on with those turn animations. I wonder. Oh, I wonder if that's in any way related to how they're spawning. The fact that they're being parented to this robots. There are only 5 under here. And the rest of them are over here. So that tells me I think I need to update some factories. Some of them don't seem to have robots. Robots think, okay. Well, yeah, in the inspector you see local coordinate space, but I think that's kind of just a trick, and a lot of things tend to work in global. But yeah, then there are utility functions to convert between global and local. Where did that happen? Missing reference there. Interesting. Now, I think that's my factory prime here. Okay, is that just that some of these don't have robots transform? It is. I can't have that added on the prefab. That container just has to be manually added. So I might just have them find that programmatically. That could be it though. If that's for some reason causing it. Wait a minute, I think I should just be able to select those and then say that is that. And then they'll have it working. Okay, I gotta go get some sleep. Tomorrow is another day. And I can't even pronounce the word another. Yes. Lots on tomorrow. But I just wanted to have a quick look. Like, if I grab this factory now. Whoopsie. That one spawned going in circles. Well, squares. It's the closest they can manage. So I didn't have any particular intent of limiting this to only 10. That was just an arbitrary number that I put in. still not getting past anything. So I think I might need this one to kind of come and run interference. So this could come in behind that one. And just hopefully weaken the robots coming out of here. Now that can take that one out. And then when this one's coming out, it's not going to get hit. And that one's been weakened as well, so should be able to go through that one. Turn. And okay, now it's going to hit that. So now that one's been weakened. So it's basically weakening the path to here. So then these can make it all the way to the end. Sometimes. As long as I have done it in a way where these don't end up running into each other. But meanwhile, I'm also getting these factories potentially hit. Oh, they're going to do just as much damage to the factory whether they're injured or not. That's interesting. So it's actually fine if they go through an enemy. It's actually good if they go through an enemy first to weaken it. Down to 850. 800. Yeah, once those lasers are working, this will be a lot more interesting. I'm going to stop that now. I think I might have fixed the thing. So I better make another commit there. Maybe fix rows not turning 90 degrees. That's it. I'm gonna end the stream. Otherwise I'll be up all night. So I better get out of here. Yeah, sorry, I read that message and didn't respond or something. So yeah, I think Blender's similar in that you can work in one or the other space. I guess the local space is relevant when you have things that are articulated. And I might end up making these robots sort of made out of bits and pieces and have them animate around. That'll be fun to set up. I will take care. Especially, the main thing is don't accidentally start playing a game on the phone. Because then I'll be up even later. And I'm here to make games, not play them. Well, both really. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for joining the stream. I'm too tired to do a proper sign out, so I'm off. Good night, or day, whatever the time is, wherever you are. See you with the next one, which is in a couple of days, I think. Yeah, 2 days from now.